Welcome to Knowledge is Power Podcast Live.
Thank you for having me, Tony.
Yes, Lord, I'm glad to have you too. And I want to make sure that you know, and Happy New Year. And Happy New Year to everyone who's watching or listening. Happy New Year. Jackie Simiens, who has been with us, I thought I was thinking 30 years, but you said you've been here 20 years as a newscaster,
Well,
news anchor.
I have lived in Beaumont for 26 years, but I've only been on the news for 20.
And then now, wow, it seems like you've been here for forever, because you see you all the time. You've been on television from noon to 6 to 9 to 10.
On weekends.
Yeah, and also on weekends, right. I remember. Now, what was your first job? What was your first television job?
Well, my first paying job was in Orlando, Florida, thanks to the National Association of Black Journalists. I won one of their scholarships. I was a scholarship recipient and the recipient of an internship. And I count the internship as a paid job because I got paid more as an intern than I did in my very first job.
Right.
I worked in Orlando, Florida at the ABC affiliate. I did a summer there. And then from there, I returned to my hometown of Lake Charles, Louisiana, where I worked for 14 months at KPLC, which was the station I grew up watching. And then from KPLC, I went on to Beaumont to become first the weekend anchor at Channel 6.
Yes. And now you went to college. You went to LSU and you studied broadcasting, right? No, communication, right?
Yes, I did. My degree is in mass communications, and I have minors in English and history.
Great. Well, tonight, folks, if you're just now joining, I've got Jackie Simien, who has been a news anchor here in the Southeast Texas viewing area for over 20 years. And
let me just say, Tony, first of all, thank you for asking me to be on. And I definitely want to say that I am a fan of yours. Or I should say I'm a fan of your Facebook page. 9 times out of 10, you will get a very good laugh from the things that you post. But that 1 time out of 10, you may go too far. It may cause me to call somebody, girl, did you see what Tony posted today? So I'm that kind of fan.
Yeah, I can't help myself.
I know
I can't help myself.
You would. I know you can't help yourself.
And I try hard to say, hey, I'm gonna slow it down, but I just can't. If I have to water it down, I can't make it. I'm in the wrong company. But no, I'm glad you enjoy my Facebook page. And also, I have a very educational page Facebook page. It's also titled Knowledge is Power Podcast. So I have a profile page and I have a podcast page.
You have a balance there.
Yeah, I mean, then it's about history, health care, just anything lifestyle that you would like, that you might enjoy, financial, a little bit of politics, history, Black history. I love Black history. I love history, period.
Yes.
I haven't doing history. So, Jack, let's get back and talk about you. And you're now you're a lifestyle correspondent now, right?
Yes, I am. People always tell me, oh, I miss seeing you on TV. And I always answer back, you don't have to miss seeing me on TV because I'm still on TV. I'm on a show called Daytime with Kimberly and Esteban, which is on Fox 4 weekday mornings at 9 o'clock. The show is based out of San Antonio. That's where the hosts are, but they have correspondents throughout the state. So I am the Beaumont, Port Arthur, Orange correspondent. And that's one of the reasons why I went back, is because this show is seen in San Antonio, Waco, El Paso, the Rio Grande Valley, and a couple of other cities. So I really appreciated having visibility throughout the state of Texas and also doing something lighter than news. Like you said, I'm the lifestyle correspondent.
Yes.
So I'm talking about the latest hairstyles, or, I'm at a patio furniture store talking about, how you can spruce up your backyard. Those are the things I'm doing. And I just kind of needed a break from hard news.
Yes. And I bet you are right now, you're not so stressful too.
Oh, right. you think you're stressed out by watching the news. Imagine having to deliver the news 3 times a day, 5 days a week, and having to swim in it even when you're not delivering the news. I had to, when I wasn't on, I still had to watch it, to keep up with it. So yeah, an extremely, extremely stressful job.
So now, don't you have a production company too that you do media production for different businesses?
Yes, Simien Media was born in 2015 after I left Channel 12. And through that company, I provide media consultation, and I also provide voice talent and other talent services. You probably are aware of the commercials that I've done for Hyundai of Silsbee, where you can buy your Hyundai on a Sunday from 11 to 6 or until the last customer leaves. They were my biggest client. So things of that nature, those are the things I do through Simien Media.
With Simien production, what guided you in that direction?
Well, I needed to be able to create my own schedule. I left Channel 12 because my daughter was about to enter high school. And right as she was in the middle of 8th grade, I was ending a 3-year contract with Channel 12. And since I was in my early 30s, I guess, I've been signing my life away 3 years at a time with each television station I worked at. So up until 8th grade, I was never at home at night for my daughter. So from birth to age 13, I was never home at night for my daughter. I was at work. I went to work at 1:30 in the afternoon, didn't come home until after the 10 o'clock news. I wanted to be present for my daughter's high school years. Yeah. A lot of people, I think about it the other way. They think you should be home when your child is little. No, I was free all afternoon. I made all of her morning programs at school. Anything that happened at school during the day, I was able to make because I didn't go to work until 1:30. But my feeling was once she entered high school, that's when I need to be at home at night. When she might sneak out of the house or do other things that older children can do. So I was never concerned about her and being at home as a child. But once she entered high school, I said, I need to be home at night, and I don't want to miss high school. I want high school to be fun for both of us. So I left Channel 12 and created Simien Media.
So how has Simien Media going now? It's just doing well along with JACKIE-ONAIR. I want to ask that question again.
Well, with the coronavirus, Simien Media has all but shut down almost. Hyundai of Silsbee hasn't been doing any commercials. We stopped production on commercials back in March. I've only done 1 commercial for them since March. And a lot of my other clients have kind of fallen back as well. So Simien Media is not as active right now, but I am hoping for the best once we get this coronavirus situation under control a little bit more.
Speaking of coronavirus, has it affected the television buys, or has it affected just the media? Has it?
Oh, absolutely. And not all of it for the bad. Mm-hmm. As you all have noticed, we do a lot of interviews now through FaceTime, through Zoom.
Right.
And, in the past, we didn't even think about doing things that way. If we couldn't interview you in person, that was a problem. And now interviewing through Zoom is the norm. It is a little tight not being able to have anybody in the studio. I haven't even been at Channel 6 or Fox 4. And in case you didn't know, Fox 4 and Channel 6 are in the same building. They're sister stations.
Right.
I have not set foot inside Channel 6 since March. Literally, I have not been in the building. Everything that I do for them, I do on my own. I meet my photographer on location. We shoot. he goes back to the studio because that's where the equipment is, but I have not been there. So I have not seen my office. I haven't been in the studio, haven't been there since March.
It's going to be a new norm when we do go back.
Yes.
It's going to be more remotely done as we are doing right now. So, if for those who are watching and the show and probably watch it later on and listening to what we're talking about, it can happen where, when I say the norm is going to change, we're going to be in a new norm. Television is going to be mostly remote,
Right.
the Zoom-like type, like we're doing right now. And so I'm going to ask this question because I've been out of broadcasting for so long. I can't tell you, I'm old school. And I know it has changed completely. But do you feel that and we're going to talk about how's the news now today versus 10 years ago? Is that going to change?
Oh, it already has. I mean, today it's hard to, well, aside from the coronavirus, before the coronavirus came along, since the Trump presidency, so much would be happening every single day. Major events was happening every second of the day.
Right.
10 years ago, 10 years ago, if there were a school shooting, we paused. The whole world stopped.
Right.
A school shooting does not make the world stop anymore. So things like that. If a celebrity dies right now with the coronavirus going on, that's not going to be the lead story. If a celebrity died 10 years ago, that was your lead. It was easier to determine what your lead story was 10 years ago because it just seemed like not as much was happening in the world.
Right.
I can definitely say since the Trump presidency, every minute of the day, something enormous is happening. And that just makes for a very hectic day for journalists.
Right. For these last 4 years since the Trump administration has been in, it's been a bulletin news, the latest bulletin news every 3 hours. And so we're getting more news that we didn't see. Right. It's erotic.
Yeah.
And
I was reading a post of a friend recently who was questioning whether the Nashville bomber and that story was kind of being pushed under the rug. And my response to that was, it would be hard for any story to top COVID-19 or anything that Donald Trump is doing right now. It would just be almost impossible to top those two things. So, it's not that news is being pushed under the rug. News is only as big as whatever else is happening in the world. And I gave this example once a couple of years ago. Do you know who Michael Jackson wasn't the only celebrity who died on the day that he died? Do you know who the other celebrity was who died the day Michael Jackson died?
No, I don't.
Exactly, because Michael Jackson's death is going to eclipse everything.
Right.
Not that we're trying to hide that somebody else died. This other celebrity just had the misfortune of dying on the same day. Farrah Fawcett died on the same day as Michael Jackson. If you don't believe me or don't remember, Google it. But her death got so little attention because she died on the same day as Michael Jackson. Not because she's not important. Mm-hmm. She's important. She's very important. Had she died on any other day, it could have been the lead story. But because she died on the same day Michael Jackson died, that pushes it down a whole lot. So that's what people need to realize. When people think that the media are trying to hide something, push something under the rug, you need to ask yourself, what else happened today? News is only as big as whatever else happened on a particular day. And of course, it's popular to say that the media are biased. We love to say the media are biased. but we never consider our own biases when we're looking at the news.
Mm-hmm.
We want what we think is important to be blown up, but what we think is important may not be what the majority thinks is important. So I want people to keep those things in mind. A story may be big, but all stories are measured against each other. Right.
So now with the coronavirus, with Donald Trump, any drama that would happen in the country that would be a number one news. When you have that much going on, a lot of things seem like it's under the rug, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. But I promise you, you can find anything you're looking for. thanks to the internet. If you really want to find out about a story, it's out there.
It is.
I do caution people though to, of course, use reputable sites. That's something that is really disturbing to me now with the advent of the internet, that people are so trusting of just anybody who has a website out, anybody who puts anything on the internet. And I know I'm going to sound biased by saying I trust network news, ABC Nightly News, CBS Evening News, ABC World News, NBC Nightly News. And the reason why I say I can trust those outlets is because, first of all, they've been around for decades. They've built up a reputation. Secondly, if one does something that the other two know is wrong, they're going to call them on it immediately. All these fringe websites and underground websites and people with no credentials or years of experience have nobody calling them out. They have nobody to answer to. ABC News can't put out something that is erroneous without CBS and NBC jumping on top of them. So there's accountability there with network news. So people can say what they want. Oh, I don't trust the mainstream media. I do. Or I should say I trust them more than anybody else. I'll put it like that.
I do too. And then sometimes we got to watch. And also YouTube. When you said, I think I heard you mention that you can get news anywhere.
Yeah.
But it's a place to get news. And we're going into that cycle now, that season that we're going to be getting news all day long, every day from all different sources. Like YouTube is like an encyclopedia now. You want something, to learn, you want to be tutored about something, you go to YouTube.
There it is. But again, I stress, consider the source. Consider the source is not just some saying. Consider the source is something that needs to be your motto.
Right.
Who told you this? Where'd you get it from? How do they know? What are their credentials?
Right.
You need to ask yourself those questions.
Well, what does Google News? Can we rely on that?
My hair, and I am looking mirror way, and I can. I'm sorry, but appearance is very important in my line of work.
Yeah.
So,
I know that.
Don't laugh at me. I'm looking at myself, and I didn't like what I saw there, so I had to fix it.
All right, I saw that. Everybody, we're talking and we're visiting with Jackie Simien.
And hey, and let's keep in mind the people you see locally. When you're clowning about their hair or makeup, we don't have hair and makeup people. I am my hair and my makeup person. Now, the lovely Alicia Wells at Genesis Hair Salon, she is my hairstylist. Pre-COVID,
Yeah.
I was a weekly visitor, but she wasn't at the station, fluffing my coif. I had to learn how to do it on my own. And now that the coronavirus has hit, I only see her every 2 to 3 weeks now.
I thought, one time you was a weekly walk-in, huh?
I was there weekly, not daily. And then as far as makeup, this is me. I got to put on my own makeup. And you know what? In all honesty, at one time, I did have a makeup artist. And that sounds glamorous. Here's the problem though. The makeup artist wasn't at the station. The makeup artist was, I can't remember if I was going all the way to Nederland or maybe he was in Beaumont, but regardless, let's say he was in Beaumont. So I had to leave my house 2 hours earlier than I normally would just to have my makeup done and make it to work on time. So in the beginning, it's cute to say I have a makeup artist, but it started taking up too much of my time. I had to let him go.
Oh my goodness.
Now they had one on site. That was, even one on site though. See, here's another thing that people don't understand. I am writing or rewriting stories up until the last minute, almost on a daily basis. If I am able to stop writing or rewriting 30 minutes before the news, that's a luxury. And that didn't happen a lot. So a lot of times it was 15 minutes before the news when I'm finished doing everything. And so I really don't have time to sit down and let a makeup artist do what they really want to do. I mean, I've learned how to put on a full face of makeup in about 5 minutes, and I have witnesses. So I'm not exaggerating. I can get a full face on in about 5 minutes. So, you know, all that sounds glamorous, but in small market TV, you have so much work to do. You don't have time for all that frivolity.
Well, I have to tell this story. You know, I have to let the audience know that today, the original guest for this show had to work, and we could not, so we had to postpone it. And I didn't have a guest. I said, "Wow, who I am? I'm going to get on the show tonight, and I got to get them real fast and quick." The first person I thought about was Jackie. And Jack, I have to tell the story because, you know, I said, well, let me text Jack and say, "Hey, Jack, can you come on the show real quick? I'm sorry for the what did I say? Short notice." She said, "Well, what I'm going to talk about?" So we're going to talk about you. She said, "What?" I said, "Hey, don't worry about it. It's going to work out because you're a pro and you can do this at a spare of a minute." So I thank you, Jackie.
You may have more confidence in me than I have in myself.
I knew you could do it, girl. I knew you could do it.
You're the one I was worried about. I was worried more about you than me.
Oh, really? Well, you know, I have two queens. I'm like my co-host. I don't know where they disappeared.
Back to your Facebook post,
okay.
Renfro, you know.
Oh. Do you get a kick out of it? Hey, guys, I'm gonna tell you right now, enjoy my Facebook posts. I mean, seriously, I laugh at the things I put on there myself. The things I write and the things I rewrite or things I find and post up or change up and place it and post it. Guys, let me tell you something. I enjoyed myself. I laughed so much.
Actually, that is why I agreed to do it. I said, Tony gives me gifts every day. He gives me the gift of laughter every day. He is kind. I'm going to help him out.
Thank you so much. Laughter is good for the soul.
It
really is. We have lost so many people in the last 9 months, and God's still waking us up. So let's enjoy and have laughter.
Yeah, we can. Whatever happiness, you better catch it.
Yeah. Well, let me get out some shout outs. You got some fans out there shouting out to you. I think Prentice Simien saying hello, Jackie.
Cousin. Hey,
she said, "Oh, y'all cousins." Okay.
Support his business. Cracklin King.
Right, Cracklin King. Yeah, he knows I'm always on top of him more than that.
Love
the Cracklin King. Yes.
Yeah.
And we got to it's Prentice is located temporarily now, but he's on the corner of Virginia, West Virginia, and Bob Street on the weekend. So folks, if you're looking for some good cracklins, Prentice. Yeah. Tell him Jackie and Tony sent you, okay? And okay, my good friend from Port Arthur, Terry.
I love
Headley.
The family. I love the Savoy family, and I thank them for trusting me year after year with the MLK brunch. I have probably emceed that brunch close to 20 years, if not 20 years yet. And I'm looking forward to hosting it this year. We're doing a virtual show. We'll be live streaming.
Okay, good. Maybe I might get invited and tell one or two jokes. Okay, and my cousin my cousin Brenda Blewett Foster said she's listening, and thank you. That's a good big shout out to you and Jana. Jana Barnes. Hey, Jana. Hey, my girl.
Jana Barnes. Love her.
All right, and another shout out with Javon Smith Pollard.
Oh, my friend Javon. I love the entire Smith family and the Pollards as well. Those are my people. I love them.
You see that, Ken, folks? I gave you a little shout out. All right. And Lillian Brown is also on. Say hello. How you guys doing? And we've got quite a few more people that's online. That is on the look like we've got about 40 more people on here that saying hello to everybody and it's watching the show. Anthony Harris and Rodney Yvette, Eric Blue, Keith Smith, Carla Carmen, Ronnie Moore, Lester Vowry, and Maggie Williams. So guys, we say hello, we thank you. And again, we're talking
Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year. I've been talking to Jackie Simien. She's the host of Jackie on Air. And again, Jackie, before we go, I'd like you to express one more time about your show, Jackie on Air.
All right. Well, I hope you will watch me on Daytime with Kimberly and Esteban on Fox 4 weekday mornings at 9 a.m. If you aren't able to catch the show, be sure to like my page, Jackie on Air, on Facebook, and you can see all my segments there. And if you're interested in doing a segment, if you have a business that you want to promote, just send me a little message and I'll let you know how we can make that happen. And I'm also on Instagram, so follow me on Instagram. I have 2 accounts on Twitter. I have a LinkedIn account as well, and I think 4 or 5 Facebook accounts. Now, if you try to send me a friend request on my regular page, Jacqueline Simien, I think that one is full, but I do have another page, Jackie Simien. Send me a request there.
Thank you, Jackie. And also, if you're watching Knowledge is Power podcast right now, or when you do watch it, we're on Spotify, iHeartRadio, LinkedIn, Twitter, Google Play, and YouTube. So if you're watching on YouTube, go and hit the red button at the bottom, subscribe to us. We're here every Sunday and Tuesday, and with my co-hosts, LaDonna Sherwood and Francis Larkins. In their absence tonight, I say, Happy New Year, everyone, and we'll see you on Tuesday. And Jackie, thank you so much for
it. Has been my pleasure.
Thank you so much. I enjoyed it.
What's next?
All right, now I'm coming with you. I'm a blast. I'm gonna put everybody on blast. Everybody, thank you again for watching Knowledge is Power podcast live. We're here every Sundays and Tuesdays, 8 o'clock on Tuesdays. And our next guest Tuesday was going to be Bigata, Hernandez Smith, who is running for as a candidate for mayor of Beaumont, and she will be joining us at 8 o'clock on this Tuesday.
Oh, I'd love to hear from her.
Yeah, all right. Thank you, Jack. Say goodbye, boo. Love you.
My pleasure. Thank you.